This is how I configure add contact info event on a Shopify store using the newer customer pixel section and Google Tag Manager. First thing we have to do is to make sure that the data layer event is firing on the website. And to do that, all we have to do is go to the settings on our Shopify store and then scroll down all the way to the customer event sections. This is where the new customer web pixels are added. On the top right corner, you will see an option for add custom pixels. Click on that. And since this event is going to be for add contact info, I'm going to rename it similarly. Once you have renamed the pixel, click on the add pixel and this will automatically create the pixel for you. Now this step is really crucial because we have to make sure that the permissions are set to not required and data sale is set to does not qualify for data sales. In the description of the video, you will find a code snippet that you have to paste here. After pasting the code snippet, this will look something like this, and the only thing we have to update here is the Google Tag Manager container ID. You can get the Google Tag Manager container ID through your Google Tag Manager. So all we have to do is go back to the Google Tag Manager container, and on the top we can see this ID. Click on it and then copy the ID right here. Once you have copied the ID, go back to the Shopify store and replace this XXX with the ID and hit save. Next we have to do is to make sure that our web pixel is successfully connected with the Shopify backend. So scroll all the way to the top and then click on connect button. Clicking on connect will automatically connect the snippets with the Shopify backend. Let's quickly verify if the event is firing properly. Let's go to online stores and then right click and hit inspect. Let's go to consoles. And here, what I'm going to do is search for the data layer. Great. Now, since I already have some items in the cart page, I'm directly going to the cart, so we can go to the final checkout page where this event is going to fire. Let's initiate a checkout. Once we are on the checkout page, let's just update this contact info to see if the event is triggering properly. Let's rename this to something else, and let's go to the next tab. Perfect. As soon as I exit this tab, we can see that this add contact info event is firing properly. It has the currency details and it has all the items array present in them. And it also has some additional information related to the event data as well as the user data, where we can see the email address and the customer ID of the user. Now we have everything that we needed. The next step is to add Google Tag Manager containers, Google Analytics configuration tag, as well as the event tag for this contact info event. So let's go back to our Google Tag Manager container and let's create a new tag. Since this is going to be the configurations page view event, this has to be firing on all the pages of the website. So for the trigger, I'm going to select all pages trigger. Under the tag configuration settings, let's select a new Google tag. The only thing we require here is the measurement ID. We can get the measurement ID from the analytics account. Let's search for measurement ID on the top and this will give us the measurement ID. Let's go back to the Google Tag Manager container and paste the measurement ID in the tag section. Or what we can do is that create a constant variable that we can refer again and again. So let's click on the plus button to create a new constant variable and paste the value right here. Let's rename this as GA4 Measurement ID. Let's rename this tag to GA4 Configuration Tag and hit save. Perfect. The next step is to create another event which only fires on the add contact info. So let's create a new trigger first, which will look for a custom event. So let's select a custom event and rename it as add contact info. And let's rename this trigger as custom event add contact info and hit save. Perfect. Now let's create a tag that will send this information back to the Google Analytics platform. For the measurement ID, we have already created a measurement ID under the GA4 Measurement ID. So let's select that. The name of the event is going to be add contact info. And since we also have user information present, we can also send the customer ID and the email address. So let's go to the new variable. And we can also select automatic collection. Since we have data layer enabled, this will automatically pick the information from there. So let's rename this as user provided data automatic collection and hit save. Now we have to do is add the other information such as items, value, and more details about the array. So let's add value, currency, and items array. For these, now we have to create data layer variables. So to create the data layer for the value, let's go to the variable under the data layer section and select e-commerce.value. Let's rename this one as DLV e-commerce.value. Perfect. Now we have to do the same thing for currency. And let's rename it as e-commerce.currency. Perfect. The last one we have to create is for the items array. So let's create that one. Similarly, we are going to create a new variable for the data layer array. And let's rename this one as items. Great. Now we have created all the variables that we needed, and Let's save this tag as GA4 custom event and add contact info and hit save. Unfortunately, we won't be able to preview and test this event, so we have to make these changes live on the website. So let's do that. GA4 add contact info and hit publish. Now we have successfully added Google Tag Manager container on the website. So let's go back to our Shopify store to trigger another event to see if everything is working all right. Let's go to our Shopify store and hit inspect. Let's switch over to the console tab where we can see all the events that are firing on the website. And let me clear off this name. We can already see that the page view event is firing, that is firing on the all pages event. So let's go to the checkout page again and see if the add contact event is properly being fired and sent back to the Google Analytics. So let's click on checkout. Let's add another email for testing. As soon as I go to the next step, we can see that the add contact info is properly firing in the console, and we can also see that a new request has been generated, which is sending the event back to the Google Analytics. This request is being shown here through this adverse extension, and you can also install it for your end to verify if everything is working all right. To double test this, we can go back to the Google Analytics real-time view, and here we can see all the events that are firing on the website. We can see that the add contact info event has just fired, and this has a currency value attached with it. Great. If you want to see how to configure begin checkout event on a Shopify store using the customer web pixel event, click here.